On today's episode, featured videos include...
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to episode 18 of the supplemental broadcast here on Alexandria Alternative Media Broadcasting, an OK Copernicus production. I'm your host, Jess, but you can call me Epitome or Burn Kid because I am Epitome the Burn Kid. Please be sure to follow the entire archival project, hashtag YouTube Recommended Chronicles on X or Tumblr for the latest videos, memes, music, and more. Be sure to head over to SoundCloud for the official soundtrack. And all the links are down in the description box below for everyone. Again, just friendly reminder for the rest of the season, due to heavy solar activity at this time of year, and with all the electromagnetic sensitivities that I have and all the electronic equipment I have to use, there might be little breaks in production for me to regain my health because too much exposure to frequencies really does degrade my health. So just keep that in mind. If I'm missing for a day or two, don't worry, I'll be back and catch everything up ASAP. And on to today's featured video recommendations, everyone. So first up, Mr. MBB 333 has his eyes on the sky and connects that knowledge quite well to what goes on deep in the ground or in the ocean. In this coverage, he covers the large X4 solar flare and solar tsunami that triggered the 7.5 earthquake and tsunami in Japan occurring earlier this January. For daily updates on UAP, solar activity, earthquakes, volcanic activity, Yellowstone monitoring, and more, be sure to head over to his channel and subscribe to keep up to date on the latest developments on natural and cosmic phenomena. Our second video comes in on the channel Real Bible Believers, and the title of this video is The Secret to Why the Angels Built the Pyramids. Hebrews 8:10 through 9:10 with Dr. Gene Kim. And Dr. Gene Kim is from UC Berkeley, and he leads us in a lecture on biblical scripture and history about the New Covenant and Kingdom scriptures in the book of Hebrews. This talk is a deep dive into Christian theology, including revealing the secret as to why the angels built the pyramids. If you have been paying attention to the themes on the supplemental broadcast, you've probably noticed mentions of angels, demons, aliens, archangels, and other ascended masters, because you'll find that it should be confirmed in the near future that these terms are somewhat synonymous with one another in certain instances, and we have much to understand once the full truths that have been hidden from us for millennia will finally be revealed once and for all. And check out the channel Real Bible Believers for more academically based lectures about scripture and Christian theology. Next up, Elizabeth April is a clairvoyant lightworker who shares her gift and her experiences with all of us on YouTube. Take a look at this video for her premonitions about how things are going to be different on different timelines for the years 2024 through 2028. Magic 8 Ball has been exposing me to many different spiritually gifted people across multiple backgrounds and religions, each giving different takes on the Great Awakening, also known as the Ascension process. That is shaping planet Earth through vibration, light, and frequencies as we evolve in real time together, moment by moment. She has a good understanding of solar flares, cosmic rays, and the corresponding shifts in our dimensional realm. Although quite different, her takes on the topics covered on the show are shared by many other prophets, light workers, the 144,000 starseeds, and chosen ones alike who have been documenting the fall of the old world and the birth of the new earth, like we do here on our program. Third up, from Dr. John Campbell's channel, this video is titled The New Cancer Vaccine. Dr. John Campbell discusses immunity, vaccines, and cancer with a colleague in this interview about a new anti-cancer The next word in quotes is for a good reason: vaccine. They discuss facts, medical science, big pharma, and their experiences navigating the healthcare field. For an understanding of the process medical professionals have to go through submitting papers, getting research clearance, and the regulatory approval process, this is a good video to view in regards to providing an insider's look into the treatments and policies that could affect us all. Check out Dr. Campbell's channel for the latest on COVID research and inquiry, excess deaths, and the latest public health concerns as they are reported on his daily updates. And now we have Devin Gibson. This video is titled, "Lol, this didn't end well for these woke college students." This compilation, this is a wild compilation of woke college students taking on different panel guests from Young America's Foundation, speaking events on college and university campuses across the country regarding different topics brought up often during identity politics debates amongst young adults on campus. Devin Gibson emcees this video compilation of behavior and attitude you have to see to believe, followed by seriously based counters that make you feel a little better that this blatantly ignorant, hostile behavior displayed by a certain covertly fascist group of young leftists is being put in its place, revealing them as the malevolent, narcissistic cowards we know that they are. For everyone who claims these types of sickos don't exist, this compilation is just the tip of the iceberg you'll find in proof on YouTube and on many other social media platforms about this really, really, really bad behavior from left-leaning youth. Which brings us to the our next video. It's channel Patriot Podcast. And the video's title is Lesbian Gives Vivek the Finger, episode number 23. Vivek Ramaswamy takes on questions, debate, and discourse openly with a lesbian woman who asks him about his stance on LGBTQ issues in this video from Patriot Podcast. It is very refreshing to see anyone at all these days engage in open debate and foster solid free speech and expression with dignity and grace on some difficult topics that make many very sensitive. This is one of these moments caught on film that truly rivals, that truly shows rivals in debate find empathy and elevate one another after some difficult moments where feelings become very charged. To see some excellent communication skills on display and people of differing views reaching common but differing ground over common concerns for LGBTQ youth. Be sure to watch this video in full. And that wraps up all of our video features for today and brings us to my favorite part of the show, the auspicious op-ed. So I composed some words for everyone, and they meant something to me, and I hope they mean something to you. If all it means is that you want to get out and share some words of your own, please do. So here we go. The unrelenting progressive infantilization of young people that became the norm not too many years after my childhood is the root source of the nearly incomprehensible woke mind virus infecting the vast majority of people born after the early 80s. It is most unfortunate that most people I know who are younger than myself are ill-suited as peers because of how the changing child-rearing dynamics instilled on those a few years younger than myself resulted in a stunting of their emotional and social learning to the point that they behave as middle schoolers while entering middle age. Now that I understand the socialist and communist undercurrents inflicted, especially on those holding degrees who hold left-leaning values and books in a similar fashion to a religious zealot or cult member, in regards to addressing the matter of secular abuse to the mind, body, and spirit, is paramount. These influential figures impose themselves as some kind of moral authority over sophistication, while only now are we finally seeing the fruits of their sophistry come to harvest. I remember feeling very sorry for the kids I knew who were sequestered in isolation by both religious and secular idealists or iconoclasts. My lifelong spiritual journey may have never taken the form of atheism. I have clearly watched many an atheist behave in a religious fashion and make a false idol to worship and follow in the form of things, ideals, and teachings. I have also watched these atheists primarily place books, great leaders, and political platforms before God while declaring their supposed superiority over the power that placed them here, who they refuse to believe in, let alone understand they are an integral part of. Talk about killing God. Thankfully, there aren't enough of these types for this to be more than a nasty infection or wound on God. The absolutely ridiculous government-mandated schooling was intended to cement this indoctrination, while the debt-based slavery we call employment in this country furthered the hardwired notion to do anything for their lord, known as money, resulted in the exploitation of survival drives throughout the citizenry. Have these fools conflated survival with God? Are they so ravenously ego-driven they impose domination and rule by furthering competition, rendering it more difficult to survive, so that they could not possibly think they'd be threatened by belief in God through a deliberate long game of stratification and planned obsolescence to force their artificial notion of caste and merit so intensely that it naturally ingrained to the psyche, then through culture? Do they know their godlike qualities they try to utilize, but fail in doing so, are a clear sign of their admission to being a part of God and his presence, while their defiance is what seals the deal to their suffering and strife? How is this permanent immaturity that is seemingly running rampant worldwide not rooted in rebellion against God and refusal of spiritual growth required to finish maturing as a person overall? The demand for sophistication results in retardation, and the proof is in the pudding. You see, to be sophisticated is to receive external validation from sophists. If you do not know what a sophist is, its roots lie in the youth of the classical world, where the elitists and aristocrats of their time, who were well versed in rhetoric but not critical thought and logic, would engage in political discourse full of fallacy and showboating. This act is known as sophistry, committed by sophists, which is the root source of where our term sophisticated comes from. Sophistry and sophistication are not virtues, but are upheld as virtues by the ignorant due to their sleek, refined veneer and illusory facet of affluence. To the untrained eye, these types may pass themselves off as wise, but if they interact with someone who holds true wisdom and virtue, they will be revealed as the shallow, superficial attention whores they attempted to conceal with weak, empty rhetoric. When these types get into an isolation tank, like college, graduate school, work, or other organizations, the condition further cements. It is far worse than you can imagine for their offspring and future generations brought up in the cycle of sophisticated mental abuse, also known as mental side. I grew up with kids who were free from this cycle of abusive sophistry until I myself reached double digits. Then sophisticated abuse was not only the norm, but it was encouraged by the strange parenting trend that they called helicopter parenting, which was a bane to the existence of big kids, teenagers, and cool people everywhere of all ages. Where did these parents learn to behave this way, you ask? Books and TV shows that promote books and experts as false idols, as the false idols they are, to further the sin of idolatry as a norm across the globe. The kids who were brought up strict with nothing but books and no freedom actually turned out much worse than the people who I grew up with, who just could be normal, or even the people who had religious abuse. And that's really sad, because at least in a home with religious abuse, there is still hope, because at least there is still religion. There's something to base hope on. And in a home where God is a myth that enrages the secular parent to high heaven, who wants to act like a god, the hope present in that home is going to be far less than in a religiously abusive home. So that's just something for everyone to think about. Books became gods. Experts became gods. Education became some weird god thing. It all became theology. Science became a religion. Isn't that something? Just some thoughts for everyone. So that brings us to the end of our show. Please, if you could help me in the algorithm and share, subscribe, follow, come find me. Be sure to check out all the videos. I put the links in the description box for everyone. Today's musical selection comes from my project, Hunter Hacks and the Western Pleasures. The track is Slack, Pick It Up. And yeah, it's been lovely having everyone for another show. I hope everyone learned a lot and has a lot to think about and has a lot of inspiration to go out there and make a difference on New Earth. Please stay safe, stay prepped, be awesome, continue